I love how everyone always says female knockers united. It's just unite. I knew you were going to say that, so I said unite. But no, that was good. I'm going to send over like some of my stuff. That way you guys like have it. Like, I just don't know anyone who has like any women on any of their stuff. No. Homeowners don't see enough of us. Like, people behind these doors don't see enough women. Therefore, they're going to want to listen a little bit longer. They're going to want to hang out with us. They're going to want to buy from us just because they're not used to seeing more of us on the doors.
So true. All right, guys, this is Suli Zink,
hey,
and
friends.
She is famous for Females Knockers United and coaches women and empowers female door knockers, which I think is such a under-serviced, under-talked about industry. Like, you look at this door-to-door con and you get 90% men.
Yes.
And I'm like, we're missing 50% of the population in this industry. And it's really cool to see, 15 years in door-to-door?
This is my 15th summer.
We both started in 2008, by the way.
Did you? Oh my gosh. But you've already transitioned out.
No. I'm still in it, very much so. And but the reality is, she's done pest control for 13 years. She did solar for the last couple of years. She's won a Golden Door in pest, a Golden Door in solar, been super successful, married, 3 kids, balancing that juggling act. And it's interesting to kind of go and talk to you in a perspective of, you're not the typical Utah male blonde dude that I fit that mold. Very, very much stereotyped.
Complete opposite.
So talk to us about what makes women successful. Like, why should more women do door-to-door sales?
Yeah. And I've chatted just with like a few other leaders about like this concept. A lot of times people are flying to different states or different colleges to go and recruit women when we are just missing a ton just in our back doors. Like our cousins, our sisters' best friends, people who are our athletes, women who are at the gym. We as women, because homeowners just don't see a ton of us on the doors, they're just less intimidated. So guess what, ladies? Like, you are gonna have more opportunities to get through objections and your smoke screens than like Sam or some of these other guys. There just needs to be more of us who are coming and kind of like working on how to deal with a little bit of rejection, how to deal with a little bit of anxiety. But we have a lot more wins in this space if we're focusing on just kind of like uniting and kind of just focusing on some of those tips that we are better at than like some of these guys.
We're just brute force.
Yes.
So I stereotyped, and I have to be guilty of this for 2-3 years. And then finally I had a 50% women's team. I was like, okay, I just debunked my own stereotype.
Sheesh.
And it was like, oh, they can't hack it. Oh, they don't have the, the same work ethic. And I've now been proven wrong many times doing what I do. It's the problem is, I think there's a belief or thing instilled into women sometimes, like, you couldn't make it.
Yes.
And then there's an internal belief like, oh man, that would be so hard. What if I get kidnapped? Or what if I this?
Yes.
And what if I, there's like 2 wrong beliefs that I think keep telling a story that we need to debunk.
And I definitely bought into that too. Like when I started in 2008, I think there was 10 of us girls like on the team. And a lot of the things that we were told when we were coming into door to door is like, oh, women are emotional. Like, oh, like women are just gonna be like fighting over the guys and there's just gonna be like all this drama. And so I bought into it. I fed into it. And it wasn't until like 5-6 years ago that I was like, we are missing out on simply just empowering those 1 to 2 women who are the only females on the team. Those 1 to 3 female leaders, we are not empowering them enough to teach the concepts of we are welcome here. Homeowners don't see enough of us. Like, people behind these doors don't see enough women. Therefore, they're gonna wanna listen a little bit longer. They're gonna wanna hang out with us. They're gonna wanna buy from us just because they're not used to seeing more of us on the doors.
So true. So let's say that I'm a female, I haven't knocked doors, I maybe have anxiety or like, oh, I don't know if I can handle the rejection. How do I change that belief system? How do I like overcome that to empower myself to to do it?
Yeah, that's a great question, and I spent a lot of like my coaching platform focusing on like inner self. It wasn't until I understood who I was. So right now, if you guys are looking into getting into the door-to-door space, you want to be surrounding yourself with other women, even if they're not knocking, but they're going to be positive people in your life. You want to start looking up content or start looking up podcasts and books. I definitely would start with the 4 Agreements. That was one of the books that just changed my mind from, you know, scarcity to where I am now, that if these guys can do it and 90% of men can go and win a golden door, like why not me? We need more of us women to start empowering and asking each other those questions like, why can't we do it? Like anxiety is just an emotion that you have to just be able to learn to kind of work through on a day-to-day basis. And that's gonna start with the work that you're gonna be doing off the doors, such as reading books and getting into podcasts and surrounding yourself with more positive people.
It's crazy. Like a lot of times I don't like to admit this, but if you said, Sam, go knock right now, I get anxiety just like any other person. And I think a lot of times we just mask it better, and we've learned to kind of compartmentalize that. And we say, okay, cool, I have anxiety, I still go knock, I'm competitive, let's go. And eventually once you start getting into a rhythm, you're like, oh, where'd the anxiety go? Like your first, second, third door, you're like, okay, I'm already out here, why are we having this anxiety? It's all the anticipation, or what if it doesn't work, or what if I fail, or what if I get rejected? All that is just future pacing things that have not happened yet. So if you just compartmentalize, like what is I'm just here and I'm alive and I'm healthy and I can go do this. It's not gonna kill me. Nobody's died knocking doors. You know, so if you can kind of compartmentalize that, and like she said, it's not like you're gonna get rid of the anxiety. That's an emotion that's stirred through anticipation. If I can process that, compartmentalize it and say, cool, I gotta work through that. I promise you that's not going to only serve you in door-to-door, that's going to serve you in anything in life, whether it's a relationship, whether that's a struggle with your kids, whether that's anything. And so the things you learn in door-to-door sales are tactics and tools and frameworks that are going to transition into the rest of your life. And I look at the street smarts and learned in emotional intelligence through sales is something that I think a lot of women need to try on that will serve them elsewhere.
And like if you guys hop onto some of like Sam's courses and things like that, for us as women, some of these concepts aren't taught a lot like on our sales force, like how to overcome anxiety, like how to deal with compartmentalizing. Like I totally agree with Sam. Men just compartmentalize a lot better, and sometimes we hear that word and we don't understand it. And so in some of the trainings and the things that we're going to be going over, I break it down for us as women, how we're able to open and close like a certain emotion and how we're able to kind of overcome those things. Because I promise you, if you just work through some of your emotions, like the things that you're going to be able to do in the door-to-door space, it is going to help you be better moms. It's going to help you be better sisters. It's going to help the rest of your financial future. Like I could not see myself doing anything else besides focusing on door-to-door, which has just brought a lot of success into my personal life.
So if you're a female that's on the fence and you're kind of like, should I do this? Or maybe you're sitting there about to quit and you're like, I tried that. My challenge to you would be to lean into the uncomfortable, because that's what instills growth. It's not until there's stress on our system that actually creates expansion in our lives. And I look at door-to-door as a challenge every day. It's something new. It's an opportunity to stretch ourselves, create new relationships, and really see what limits are out there, because you can earn what you're worth and you're not compartmentalized into a box where you're paid 50 grand a year. It's like the uncapped potential, like the millions of dollars that Suli's earned is accessible to you just like anyone else. And so, I would just invite you to challenge your belief, lean into that uncomfortable, and go a little harder.
If myself, 37 years old, been in the door-to-door space for 15 years, if I could be a mom, have 3 kids, married, also went through challenges of being overweight on the doors, and have found so much financial freedom, found so much other tools in my personal life, if I can do it, ladies, so can you.
If you got some value out of this video, so hit the subscribe button. We love to hear your comments, shares. Let's hear it, ladies. Like, chatter on this thing. Like, this is what I learned, and this is what I'm doing. And like, we want to collaborate, and like, that's one of Suli's missions, is to unite and empower the female class of the door knocking space. And so, collaborate on this video, and we'd love to hear your guys' insights and advice as well. So thank you guys for watching. Again, Sam Taggart, Suli Zink. Go follow her on Female Knockers United. And let's go.
Thanks, Sam.
See you guys.